Hi there, YouTube land. I have a whole bunch of weedy pennies, and I live in Florida with a lot of moisture, and I've been collecting them for over 30 years. I put them in Tupperware boxes, and I just opened them up just recently and found out that I got green stuff growing. Some electrolysis is going on. All the pennies are really sticky and, really growing some growth on a bunch of them. So I'm trying to figure out a way to clean them without destroying them. First, I don't want to put them in vinegar. I don't want to take the tarnish off. I don't want to use any acid to etch them or anything. I don't want to do any physical damage. I just want the electrolysis to stop and to try to clean them up with the gunk and the sticky, the way they feel, they're tacky. I want to clean them off. And I found a procedure on how to do it, and I want to let everybody know how to do it the best way I found. And it doesn't physically damage the coins. Right now, I'm going through the coins, like half of them are garbage, in my opinion. I've been cleaning them and everything, and I've been getting a good success rate of probably 95%. So I'm just going to share some of my ideas and how my procedure is that I figured out how to do. So first I want to show you the pennies that I got and the good growth that's on them. And the next I'm going to show the procedure. Right there is my whole pile of my boxes I had all my pennies stored in. As you can see, every one of those had weedy pennies in it. So I had quite a few. So this has taken me days to cure my problem and everything. Here's some pennies that I have. You can see how tarnished they are, how green they are. They got growth growing on them. That's the whole project, is to try to clean these up. First thing we're using is a shaker. This shaker came from Harbor Freight. Actually, it's holding up, believe it or not. And the next thing I did, I took pennies and put them in quart jars. So they're all measured out and ready. What I used in here was sandblast sand, which is the black. And on the description, I'll give you the brand. And I put 1 quart of pennies in and 3 quarts of the sandblast sand in. I shake these a grand total for 20 minutes. After 20 minutes, I made a screen to catch. And I just take the whole thing and just dump it out. It dumped the sand and the pennies in the screen. I shake these back and forth to get all the sand into the bucket below, pan below. After I do that, put the pennies aside. And here's the sand, and I dump it right back in to the shaker. I grab 1 quart of pennies. And dump it in. Put the lid back on. You can let it shake. I say 20 minutes to 30 minutes. That's all you need of this. But you still have another procedure after this. Then I take the pennies and dump them from the screen. Then I have to take the pennies out from the pan. And then I put it back in the jar temporarily. And we set these aside for the next step. Okay, I'll look at the pennies that we just got done in the tumbler. They look a little dull. They're not shiny or anything. That's what the next step will take care of that. If your pennies aren't as bad as mine, you can eliminate this particular step. You don't have to do it. You can just go to the next one. In the next step, we're going to change the sandblast material in the shaker to a walnut shell material. You can actually purchase this walnut shell at Harbor Freight. They have these in, I think, 10-pound bags. And this is what we're going to polish the pennies with. Okay, this is step 2 that we're going to do. Just emptied the shaker. We have no longer have the black diamond sand in here, which is very abrasive, by the way. If you don't need to do the first step, bypass it because it is abrasive material. The next material we're putting in the walnut shells. I'm putting in a grand total of 4 quarts into this unit. Now I'm taking a quart of pennies and put them in the shaker. Now this will polish the pennies up to make them look just like they were before, except without the growth, and makes them smooth again instead of dull. It polishes them up slowly. We're going to put these in the shaker for 1 hour. So these are shucked a lot longer time. So there it goes. An hour later I'll take them out. Okay, I just turned the unit off. It's been shaken for a grand total of 1 hour. And let's take the pennies out. Do the same thing. I just dump them all in the grid to separate it. Now we're separating the pennies from the shells. So as you can tell by even looking at these, they're much cleaner. It didn't get every one of the pennies where they're perfect, but it got the majority. Now I'll show you the next step right after this. So after we separated most of the shells, now we take material and put it back in the shaker for the next batch. So you get it prepped. Now I got the pennies already separated. I got it back into the tray, just the pennies alone. I put it in the screen. This is to separate any other debris that I have. So usually I just shake them around. Make sure that all the shells are gone. And now I have to wash them, is my next thing. Okay, what I do, I wash the pennies. I leave them in that strainer. And I just usually just take a garden hose in. And wash them off. The next thing we're going to do, we're going to take the strainer after the pennies are fairly And we're going to pour them in a cake pan. At least I hope it's a cake pan. We're just going to level them out. Make sure they're level. And we need them perfectly dry because we're going to put these back in the glass jars. And then we're going to vacuum them down. And we're going to seal these. So ever how they look when they go in the jar, now they're going to stay the same way. So that's the whole golden objective here. So now after putting it in the pan, we'll take it over to the oven. Now I have a little toaster oven we're going to put these in. We're going to bake these at a temperature of 375 degrees for 30 minutes. Our goal is to remove all the moisture, because we can't put any moisture in the jar. If we do, then we have problems. Now I'm getting ready to put the pennies in the jar. I waited until the pennies got down to 150 degrees. Now I got them all in the jar, ready to go. I usually let them set in the jar for 5 minutes, so all the heat is pushing up any moisture that's left in the jar, so we can get all the moisture completely out of the jar, period. I have let these pennies set for at least 5 minutes, so this jar is still red hot. I'm going to put it in the vacuum chamber here. I'm going to take a lid, you just lay it on top, put the collar around it, you tighten it down, and then you back off of it. The collar so that when the vacuum comes out of the chamber, it'll lay back down to get a vacuum. Now you turn on the vacuum pump. Usually I let this vacuum down to around about negative 25, 27, because my vacuum pump here goes down about negative 27. After it hits it, it's pretty well vacuumed because everything's a solid in there. The glass is a solid, the money is a solid, so it doesn't take any extra time to vacuum or let it have to sit there. After it hits it, which it already has, then you just shut off the vacuum pump. And then you open the valve and let the air into the tank. The lid will collapse down and make a complete seal. So the whole penny jar is totally vacuumed. Has no air in it, has no moisture in it, it's still 150 degrees. So what's in this jar now will be the same and look the same 20, 30 years from now. That'll be the end of your storage problems. So this is the end of the video. I hope you got some of the information. I've worked on this for days to take care of all my pennies. Considering I had 28 gallons of pennies. And that's 28 gallons, that's 28 times 4 quart jars. So I had over 100 quart jars of pennies. So it took a long time to do these, and I still got one more day to finish up. So I just wanted everyone to get some knowledge of what I did, and it seems like it really worked pretty well. Okay, hope I helped somebody out on how to store their coin collection. So have a nice one.